When I'm not crossing off repurpose an old wooden ship as a toothpaste caddy from my bucket list, I like to answer questions that I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. Can you post up some free tabs on all of this? I know free stuff is a crime, but I'm a broke musician paying dues forever, so can you help us out? Thanks. Do you have tabs for this? One of the most iconic lines on YouTube comments of all time. So I really generally don't have tabs for this. I do have tabs for my Patreon, but just because I feel an obligation to do so if it's paid for. My thoughts on tabs are as follows. You don't need tabs, and tabs are a crutch. I've learned this from teaching like hundreds of students over the years, and myself learning from tabs. Again, tabs are great for a certain amount of time, but you need to get off the sheet as soon as possible. I think after just a while, it just becomes a total crutch. I know I've noticed a huge improvement in students I've had over the years once I start teaching them in a way that I just stop making tabs for them, right? Because there's something about just getting used to tabs that you never want to get off it. It's almost like training wheels for a bicycle, really. You know, being able to kind of visually see things is really nice to kind of maybe get the forms and kind of get the ideas like into your head. We're like, okay. Like, all right, I'm going from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret to the 7th fret to the 5th, but then, you know, you end up looking like this. I see them practicing, like, here's the tab, right? And they're going like this. Right? That's bad. That's not good. That's not good at all. You want to be able to use your ear, and just in any kind of musicianship in general. And you also want to be able to really kind of like feel out the forms and see the fretboard instead of seeing the tab and responding to it. So, you know, cognitively, I'm like, I'm not going to provide tabs on any of these videos because it's wrong for you. Subconsciously, I just don't want to make tabs. That's probably actually like the real reason. But the way I justify saying that, being a professional YouTube channel and not having tabs available, is because I really just don't think you should use tabs. And I promise you, like, it may seem kind of daunting trying to go like off a tab or something and just like memorizing things, but the sooner that you can start chunking information and just being able to kind of see things, your ear is going to improve at warp speed, and then you're really going to make the connections of even just like, all right, a root note, I can hear where that is, and it's like, all right, well maybe I can, all right, what is the sound of that? Sorry, there it is. That's a major 7 arpeggio. Close to it anyways. It might not be in order, but you might start getting closer, and you just get closer and closer to kind of taking stabs at what you think it might be, and eventually you just guess right most of the time. That's kind of how playing by ear works. So again, there's a lot of benefit to tabs, of course, but get off of them as soon as you can. Can you drop a PDF of the chords in this video and the pictures so I can practice these chords more efficiently? All right, now this is just an unrealistic expectation. I'm going to make PDFs of like chords and stuff like that. Again, could just be me being lazy, but whatever. Is there a dead guy behind you crumpled up on the floor? So in the video I posted with Katie the other day of us doing a song together, you can clearly see in the guitar shot, somewhat out of focus, is a crumpled up muppet that I have. And this is like the funniest thing to me because every now and then I get this idea that I'm gonna try to be more professional with my videos. I'm gonna really take my time and kind of get the camera settings just right. I'll have that nice, perfect, shallow depth of field. And then in the background you can see like a crumpled up muppet. which brings just endless joy to me. So, you know, as far as the professionalism of this channel, you can always expect to see some kind of nonsense going on in the background. Hey Sean, just wanted you to know that I still watch your vids even when there are no pretty girls in them. I'm not gay or anything, but you are a handsome gentleman. Anyway, I see you posted all the videos from one of your ultra expensive Udemy courses to Patreon. Are you going to do that with the other ultra expensive Udemy courses you have too? That would be so cool. $12 a month seems reasonable to me at least. Rock on, Brohim. First of all, there's no such thing as a Sean Daniel ultra expensive Udemy course. I think mine are way cheaper than anybody else's out there. I basically have a bunch of courses with me and either like one of my friends up on Udemy, and then I have the Patreon thing, which is just me teaching, you know, guitar from like beginner to, it just keeps going infinitely, right? I try to get new lessons up every week. Plus, you know, dozens of like actual song lessons for sure. I don't think that any of the Udemy classes will be on Patreon, except there is a Patreon or a Udemy option for just the beginner class. Just because a lot of the reason for doing the Udemy classes was to give some of my friends who are great musicians like a chance to like make extra money. That's why I always do the Udemy classes with somebody else. And the nice thing about that is the payouts kind of get split both ways. Whereas Patreon just all comes to me, and it'd be weird to kind of like separate that from other people. So that's why I think the Udemy stuff will be more focused on something else, and I'll always try to have like other people join me to kind of get a different perspective in, which I think is really important for teaching. And the Patreon stuff is always just going to be SD. That is one of the smoothest clean tones I've ever heard. Could you please share how you produce this tone? Also a great video. Yeah, thank you. So there's really not a lot going on right here. It's just the D'Angelico neck pickup, which I think is just like really kind of like, there's something about that neck pickup with the tone maybe back a little bit that is just so creamy, and I love it. And it's just, the way they voice their pickups, I'm a huge fan of. That's why I love D'Angelico guitars. It's going into a Fender 65 Deluxe reissue, and for the music vids and stuff that I'll use it in, like for this video right now, I just have one mic, the Audio-Technica 4050, that's getting my guitar and my voice at the same time. And it just kind of picks up the room, and I think it sounds pretty good. But when I take my time with stuff and try to get just the amp, I use the Earthworks SR25 microphone, which is like a fantastic mic, and I think it really has like a lot of great detail. But like I said, my two favorite sounds for clean stuff are definitely any D'Angelico neck pickup, and also the Fender Ultra Strat in the neck or fourth position with the S1 switching is absolutely awesome. After that, any kind of like distorted thing, I really kind of prefer the Music Man St. Vincent. So those are probably like my top 3 electric guitar tone sounds, I guess. But I just love the creaminess of... There's never too much high end on the D'Angelico neck pickups. And the bridge, it's almost kind of, I don't know, nostalgic, almost a little bit lo-fi. Kind of, I think what they do with the high end of their pickup voicings is definitely kind of, I don't know, my style. And it might not be for everybody, but I just love how they voice those. F you, so boring. Man, that's kind of harsh, right? Just stop watching the video. Why don't you apologize for that hair? Listen, if I had to start making apologies for whatever it is that my hair is currently doing, I would just be here for, you know, the end of time. It's pretty funny the amount of, like, hair-related comments that I get. Look, listen, this thing is just doing its own thing. So, either get on board or jump ship. bscom ASU sadistic Andrea ladies in handsome gentleman's studio apartment sponsor equipment sent to him lizard clone. Know a good bankruptcy lawyer. Justice joke delusions. What? A Silver Sky? So this was a common comment on the guitar I did last week where I showcased this Traveler LTD headless guitar as the guitar that I've always feared. There's been something about kind of head stockless guitars that I've just always been kind of like about. And then they sent me one and like, cool, whatever, you know? It was an unfounded fear as it turns out. So this one's pretty sweet. People say the PRS Silver Sky. A lot of people thought that I was talking about the Silver Sky when I said the one guitar that I feared. No, I don't fear that guitar. I just don't acknowledge its existence because it's an abomination. And if you want to hear more about why I think that is, and I will refuse to, I'm standing my ground on this, by the way. If PRS would be like, hey, do you want a Silver Sky? I would say, no, I do not. 100% I would say that. And I'm a man of principle and I stick to it. So if you want to know why, I'll link you to the video where me, Samurai, and Michael from Guitargate kind of go over that whole thing. So for listening homework this week, I'm going to throw you to an epic rock track by a band named Ayreon. It's called The Day the World Breaks Down, I think. And I was actually a guest on my friend Elizabeth's channel at The Charismatic Voice. She is like this legit super pro amazing opera singer that reacts to like a lot of like the most incredible vocal performances ever. And she had me as a guest on this like ridiculous rock opera-esque epic track that this band put out. It's really kind of like the mastermind behind this is one guy, and then he just kind of has a bunch of cool guests. So It's something I never really knew of Ayreon before I did the reaction for this video. So that's going to be your listening homework because it's super interesting. And I'll link you to the video that I did with Elizabeth too, in case you're interested about it. There's some good jokes in the reaction. Definitely took a while because it's a long track, but it's pretty cool. So check that out. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks a lot.